Parish family, Father Panteleimon here. I'm in my car, but I'm not driving. And, I wanted to offer today is day 10 of Lent. So one of the nice things about these reflections is it allows me to count what day we are in Great and Holy Lent. So today is the 10th day of Great Lent. We're in the second week, halfway through the second week. And I wanted to talk, I don't want to talk, I've been talking about fasting, but I want to veer from that for a little bit. And so as you may know, if you look at our bulletin, we have pretty much the first week's a little different because there's more, but pretty much every week of Great Lent, there are at least three services. We have the Great Compline on Monday night, we have a Presanctified Liturgy on Wednesday night, and we have the Akathist to the Virgin Mary Friday night, until the fifth Friday. So the fifth Friday is the last Friday. The sixth Friday, we don't have the Akathist because we're done by then. And I wanted to just reflect on some things related to the worship of the church during Lent. For starters, today I want to talk about the book of Psalms, right? So on Monday night, which is a beautiful service, and if you haven't come, you really, really should come. You're missing out if you don't attend a Great Compline service during Great Lent. And so actually, let me add one other point. One of the things about Great Lent that's interesting is that the tone, the liturgical tone, is very different during the weekdays of Great Lent. So if you only come to Sunday liturgy, you actually will you'll not even know that is taking place because the weekends are different than the weekdays. The most obvious difference, well, there's two, I would say. One is that during the weekdays of Lent, we have a dark, usually purple or black is the color. So the priest's vestments are either purple or black. The altar table is covered in either purple or black. Also, kind of with that, the lights are dimmed. It's much more somber, much more subdued. And I think the point of that is, the goal is to kind of turn inside, to sort of look inside our own hearts. And I think that the darkness and the lights being dimmed, all of that sort of contributes to our being sort of less distracted and less inclined to sort of crane our necks and look around and see what's going on in the pew, to the right or the left or in front of us or behind us. And that's really a beautiful thing. The other thing that's unique about Lent is during the weekdays, so that's Monday through Friday, not the weekends, but during the weekdays, we never have Divine Liturgy except for the Annunciation on March 25th, because that's a big feast day. But otherwise we don't, and the reason for that is, again, kind of what I said a minute ago. Great Lent, the tone of Great Lent, the weekday tone of Great Lent, is much more subdued and calm and sober and maybe even a little bit, kind of pensive. And the church has sort of discerned that the Divine Liturgy, which is very festive, doesn't fit that tone. So we never have, except for Annunciation, we never have Divine Liturgy during the weekdays of Great Lent, which also, and I'm kind of changing my path here on this talk, but which also explains why we have Wednesday night Presanctified Liturgies. So for those of you who don't know, the Wednesday night Presanctified Liturgy is really, technically it's not a liturgy, really, because technically a liturgy is a service in which the bread and the wine are consecrated by the priest and they become the body and blood of Christ. That does not happen on Wednesday night at the Presanctified Liturgy. We offer Holy Communion at this Wednesday service, but the body and blood that are offered on Wednesday night, so the bread and the wine that have become the body and blood on Wednesday night, those actually are consecrated the Sunday before, because we have a liturgy, obviously, on Sunday. So at the Sunday before that, the Sunday before the Wednesday, I will consecrate more than just one lamb. We call the body and blood that becomes the bread and wine, we call that the lamb. So I'm going to call it that. So rather than just consecrating one lamb, which we would consume on Sunday, I consecrate two, one for Sunday, and then one I put on a little dish in the back of the altar with a candle and a cover over it. And that is reserved until Wednesday night. So on Wednesday, that's why it's called Presanctified Liturgy, right? Because the lamb, the bread and the wine that have become the body and blood, those have been sanctified previously, not at Wednesday's service, but at the previous Sunday. So that's actually what that service is. It's kind of unique. And so I was going to talk about the Psalms, but I wound up going in different directions. But I do want to, if I do nothing else in this video clip right now, I want to encourage you to attend some of the weekday services of Lent. We have really, 4.5 weeks, and then obviously Holy Week. Really, you are losing out. You are being deprived of some of the most beautiful parts of the church if you only come on Sundays. So I would encourage you, especially parents who have kids, find a Monday night, find a Wednesday night. I would attend at least one of each. I would come to one Monday night service, and I'd come to one Wednesday night service at least. And if you have kids, bring them with. It's I know we're busy and we have lacrosse and volleyball and basketball and wrestling and hockey and marching band, but all of those things are temporal, right? And they're all going to pass away. And what's going to remain is my relationship with Jesus Christ. So that's my message. I hope you're having a good Lent, and we will talk again. God bless.